Hello, hello, hello. Assalamu alaikum. Ji ayanu. Pakhair ragale. Ni hao. Chune shumme. Washmale. Ohaya Gonzaimus. Guten Morgen. Hola. Bonjour. Privyet. Kaifa hal. And a very amazing Khush Amadi to everyone who's tuned into PT World and watching World this morning alongside the very pretty Maha Makhdoom and Shazad Khan. Hello, Maha. How are you?
Hello, handsome Shazad. I'm very well, thank you. Walaikum
Thank you very
assalam.
much for
Assalamu
saying
alaikum,
that.
everyone. I'm good today, but I've got a few things that are bugging me.
Oh, for example?
You? No,
Oh,
kidding,
yeah.
kidding.
Well, I
I'm
think
in a
that's what
joking
my
mood today.
job is.
Yeah, I'm in a joking mood.
So
No, and
on,
actually,
on,
my eyes keep watering, and my makeup is getting ruined, and there's no tissue.
you know, a
Oh, you're
gentleman's
joking.
always prepared. So here you go, Maha.
Oh,
Come
thank you
on.
so much.
But you cannot use all of them. Spare one for
Okay,
me
spare
because I'm
one.
sweating today as well.
Okay.
Because I think what happened to me was that I consumed all my sleeping hours, I think in the past 2 days. And yesterday, I couldn't get any sleep. So I think that, I might have probably restarted my brain by sleeping 15 minutes. But I
Yeah.
think it's going to work for me.
You actually seem fine. I think those last 2 days of oversleeping, it's fine. It's doing you.
Yeah,
Because
that's how it
normally
is.
when Shazad's really tired, he gets hyper and I can't control him. But right now he's okay.
Yeah, I
But
think I'm
anyway,
normal, man.
we have a wonderful show lined up for you. Yesterday we had quite a serious topic about psychological situations and illnesses that can happen and how to prepare ourselves for them and how to prepare for a rainy day as well, especially with the current social economic climate. But today we have a wonderful show to show you what's happening within Pakistan, people that are promoting the softer image, the true image, the balanced view, because as we know, internally and externally, people don't like to present a balanced view of Pakistan. They like to portray that the country is up in flames, which is absolutely not. I drove here by myself today. I'm wearing English clothes or Western clothes. So things are good here. So this is what we're going to be highlighting today.
And this is what we are doing. So let's take a look at the top stories first of all, and then it'll be followed by a public service message, and Ma's going to do the honors. But first up, top stories. The UN General Assembly has approved a resolution effectively calling on the United States to withdraw its recognition of Al-Quds as the capital of Israel.
And the National Command Authority has expressed concern over destabilizing actions in Pakistan's neighborhood, which undermine the objective of maintaining strategic stability in South Asia.
And now taking you to Paris, where the lights are up and the shoppers are out as the pre-Christmas rush hits the French capital.
And families usually want to stay home during the Christmas season as they await the arrival of Santa Claus. But the residents of Bogota are coming out to see an illuminated Christmas train pass through the Colombian capital.
And now hitting the strings, where while most musicians seek to avoid a frosty reception at concerts, for Norwegian composer and performer Erje in Sungset, a chilly feeling is nothing to fear. He performs with instruments he makes himself out of ice. Wow! I want to hear these instruments. Listen to them. Can we? Very creative that was, and time now for a public service. Do you have to say anything about these instruments made out of ice?
That is really cold, and I don't know why people like to torture themselves.
No, but imagine that, if you have an instrument, for example, just like flute, and it's made up of ice. What if your tongue sticks to it?
Exactly. It doesn't
it's
sound
going to be cold.
pleasant.
You can
But
get
it's
frostbite too.
amazing, and everyone's got unique ideas, so that's wonderful. That's great.
So let's move on towards our public service message. Let's see what Maya has for us.
as you
Yeah.
know, that we like to take our public service messages from our, our walks of life, from our own experiences, and things that we are also guilty of doing. And as everyone, now it's a well-documented thing that I tend to get a little bit of road rage in Pakistan because of the lack of, road etiquette. But this is something else that we've been discussing over the last week or so. It's about, looking at our own individual actions. And, something that I've been reflecting on lately is that we are so quick to assign blame or locate blame to external factors or people or things for things going wrong in our lives or things not working out. But the thing is, the sign of growth and maturity and kind of evolution is that we realize our own role in it and we realize our mistakes rather than trying to find, oh no, this is my fault and this is the reason why I haven't been successful at it. It's like, no, these are my shortcomings. This is my actions. These are the things that I should be held accountable for. So I feel like as time goes on, especially with the whole online, the way that we're so connected and we can escape from things, that we don't really take account. We don't take credit for our own actions or accountability for our own actions, and we're always looking to assign blame.
No, but Maha, I think over here in Pakistan, there's nobody who actually gives you credit for what you have done well. I mean,
No,
I
so
think this is
I think that's a
something,
universal
and I
thing.
think this can be a public service message on the 25th of December as well, because it'll be Christmas, and then, if you want to give credit to anybody, I think that'll be the occasion to do that as well.
Absolutely.
Because, we generally do it on Eid, when we get together, oh, you did this very well, you did that very great. But other than that, you're very correct that we do not accept what we did wrong.
Exactly, did wrong or did right or whatever. Anyway, it's about taking accountability for our own actions. It's about looking at ourselves rather than externally. So I'm just getting a bit tired of that kind of attitude. But apart from that, that's a public service message. And it's something that will help us all grow as individuals.
Exactly, that's what's going to happen to all of us, that we are going to grow once we
Hopefully.
start accepting. But other than that, ladies and gentlemen, I think I'll take pride in saying that Pakistan is on the right path because we are developing as a nation. But other than that, since we all know that Pakistan was an agriculture, or still is, the economy is based on agriculture. And quite a lot of economists in the recent days have said that if Pakistan wants to prosper more and more, we need to invest in the technology sector or physics or chemistry, or probably come up with some formulas which are going to be new inventions in the world.
Exactly, and recently we've just seen the World Bank has also approved a huge loan for Pakistan as well to help its technology come up to scratch, especially within the agricultural sector. But within Pakistan, it's not just the agricultural side that we are expanding. We are investing in our information technology side. We do have scientists. We have world level scientists as well.
I mean, imagine that, our Air Force is the only Air Force over here in the world who actually make their own aircrafts too. So imagine that we are definitely investing in technology. But other than that, what about our teachers? Because they are always looking forward to opportunities which are available out there for all of those kids who can pretty much do very well for the world.
Exactly, and within Pakistan there are lots of programs which universities and schools are becoming part of that provide a platform for for children, especially within the information technology IT area, to get first-hand experience, come up with ideas, get training sessions, learn about what is happening globally and internationally.
Exactly. So, ladies and gentlemen, this year, 29th IYPT took place. And for all those people who do not actually know what IYPT is, took me quite a longer time to remember this as well. It's International Young Physicists Tournament.
Yes.
What it is and what happened within this tournament, what people made, because when I was reading through it, they made magnetic trains, honeycombs, and whatnot.
Yes.
And the best answer from the professor who actually took, or probably was relying on all of those students, the best answer was that, her rector asked whether you were going to win it or what. And she said, well, we are just going to take the first step right now and we'll see.
Exactly.
So on my right-hand side, ladies and gentlemen, we have been joined with somebody who is the manager, juror, organizer, IYPT, associate professor, Department of Physics, ComSat. She's none other than Dr. Farida Tahir. Hello, assalamu alaikum. How are you?
Good, how are you?
I love your hat. Thank you very much for
Thank you very
joining
much.
us.
Thank you so much for joining us
And
today.
alongside Dr. Farida Tahir, we have been joined by Tahir Hussain Khan Sahab, who is the manager IYPT Pakistan chapter. Hello, sir. Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum assalam.
Thank you very much for joining us.
You're welcome.
So I think I'm going to get my conversation started with you because you're managing the IYPT as well. What is IYPT? Please let us know about that.
IYPT stands for International Young Physicist Tournament, and it initiated 30 years back,
Okay.
and in 1988. And it was started by Professor Evgeny Yunusov, a Russian professor.
Okay.
He initiated. The basic concept of the tournament is to, in fact, bring the young students, the high school and higher secondary school level students, to bring them and get them involved in research.
Okay.
This tournament is totally different from other tournaments. In this tournament, International Organizing Committee of IYPT assigns 17 problems at the very start of the year. For example, this year it is going to take place, the 31st IYPT is going to take place in Beijing in 2018 from July 19 to July 26.
Okay.
But the questions and the problems they have already assigned, and they were assigned in July 2017.
Okay, so before we move on to the 2019 one, let's talk about the one that's just currently gone past.
Okay.
Okay, so did we take part in the 2018 IYT?
IYPT.
IIPT. Okay.
Yes.
We are going to take part in this competition. And this time we are ahead of the previous one, because in the previous one, for example, in 1917, we have only 5 self-motivated students. Actually, we try to bring as many students as possible. And, I get involved in all these issue because from the very beginning, I was thinking that there must be some different kind of competition which is not only on the paper based. So something, when you get something and you present in the front of the different people, just like a stage, on the stage, so that the student, we can see the strength, we can see the management and all the issues related to the confidence.
Yeah, it's a practical experience
It's
and learning.
a practical, and it's a different kind of, because it's not only paper based.
Yeah.
For like and this competition is, it's heading towards the competition which is next step towards the Nobel Prize. In this competition, the student, they what they do, they like they are exploring the inside out. These 17 problems, as Mr. Tahir mentioned. So these 17 problems are open-ended problems.
Okay.
Okay, it's not necessary that the solution is true, but the physics is consistent.
Okay. The theory and the physics has to be right.
Yes.
Okay.
The important thing is that this competition basically contained the ingredient, for example, which is the perfect ingredient of the scientific research.
And that is?
That is observation.
Okay.
Assumption, make a mathematical model, and then finally draw a conclusion to develop a theory. So the student of very young age.
So it's like new theories are being created.
Yeah.
Yes.
Exactly.
Yes.
Wow.
That's why they are publishing a new paper.
Okay. So this is what I want to ask you. Let's talk about the problems for this year that they were set for 2017, and then we'll talk about the preparation for the 2018 participants. But Mr. Tahir, tell us, what were the problems that were set for this year's participants?
Or challenges.
Or challenges, yes.
They 17 problems they are assigned to students, and in it, for example, last year when there was a problem in invent yourself. The title of the first problem was invent yourself, and it involves that you have to make a safe landing of a raw egg of a pullet of a hen. Safe landing, and you have to invent a device of the minimum smallest size.
Okay, amazing.
So that the egg lands safely.
Safely.
Oh, nice.
And this time, our student, one of our participants, he was an 8th grader, and he totally different technology was used by him, and instead of using Newtonian liquid fluid, he used non-Newtonian fluid. He used oplec.
Okay.
For making the safe landing of the raw egg from the height of about 2.5 meters.
Amazing.
And this time we basically, I'm sorry interrupting you, and this time we get at even 9s out of 10 on this project.
Wow.
Okay, amazing. So now let's talk about, before we talk about it sounds like genius ideas that the youth of Pakistan are coming up with, how do the participants get involved with this, with this?
And I'm sorry.
IYPT.
Oh, okay. Uh, Basically, as I already mentioned, that I am always looking for something which is different from the existing one, in which the student can
So
express
how do the
themselves.
students find you, and
Yeah.
how do the students
Or how
find
did you
this?
find
Okay,
the students?
okay,
Yeah.
okay.
Or how did you find the
I'm
students?
going to this. I was doing my postdoc in America, so as I'm looking for these kind of things, so I get little bit information from America, and then I come back to my country, and that was at that time I was very busy in my research because I fully concentrated on one particle which is called neutrino, and we don't have any much idea about that particle.
Alright.
So I'm doing research on that particle, and from that time I that make a picture that I have to bring this kind of competition in Pakistan. So in 2011 I went to the jury member of IYPT. They invite me. One of my friends, she is in Iran, Dina. So she invited me as a juror and as an observer in 2011 in Iran. And when I witnessed that, that specific fight, it's called a physics fight. It's not a physical fight,
Yeah.
but it's a
Yeah.
physics fight
yes, nice.
in which
We're
the
fighting with laws.
student, yes. So the young students, a very young student, they are delivering their concept, which is better than any, physics professor. They have authority on a subject, and the way they talk and the way they manage the thing. In this fight, there is a very particular time for each preparation. For example, the opponent in this. Can I tell you the formula?
Yeah,
of
sure,
that?
obviously.
please.
Okay, so in this fight we have three type of participant. One is called reporter, another is opponent, another is reviewer. And if we have 4 teams, then we have observer. But the 3 participants are active. For example, the reviewer, reporter. The opponent role is to to challenges the problem amongst these 17 problem, and the reporter he accept that problem within one time. So they have a time limit. That's a very good. So they if they accept a problem, they get the point, and they start their presentation, and they give their whole solution within 12 minutes.
Oh,
Okay,
wow.
so
12 minutes.
then, while I was going through the profile, I read that, the experiments were actually on honeycombs,
There
right?
are
Magnetic
trains.
many magnetic train, acoustic lens.
What problems were there? For
Acoustic
example,
lens.
how to levitate a magnetic train with the help of a magnet? Can that be a problem or a question?
No, the problem is that they have the loose string,
Yeah.
and the world will be facing the energy problem. It is assumed that it's that 2050 we don't have any energy resources left, so we have to levitate the train, the magnetic train. It is with the help of magnet. So we design with in order to minimize the resistance, we did it in the 3D printer, with a 3D printer, so that we don't have any resistance, and our theory and experiment it matches well.
Okay, so now all the participants. Now, what is the age? Let me bring Mr. Tahir into the conversation. What is the age group of the participants that get involved?
Normally, it is between 14 and 18 years of
wow.
age, but this time we have a student of 13 years of age, and he was interested, and he participated in Pakistan Young Physicists Tournament.
Amazing.
That is preliminary of IYPT.
Okay, amazing.
And he performed very well.
Yeah.
And then he said, okay, I want to participate in IYPT as well. And then we asked International Organizing Committee of IYPT, and they said we relaxed it by 1 year or so.
Excellent.
And that is no problem. So far, if you are satisfied with the performance, you can bring that kid along.
Amazing.
Excellent.
So now what we tried to do was, since
Brilliant.
you didn't bring any pictures with you, so what we tried to do was
That's
that we tried
terrible.
getting pictures off the internet. So let's see whether we have the same pictures or not, and you guys can obviously
Yeah,
let us
let
know
us
about them. Let's take a look at these pictures from IYPT. Are these the pictures?
Yes, this
Yes,
is
these are the
Yay.
pictures. Good job, producers. The entire team, in fact. So yeah, what's happening? Can you
this
explain
is
what's happening over here within this picture?
This is the fight going on, and this is the team that represented Pakistan in IYPT 30th IYPT 2017 that was held in
And they're
National
all very
University.
young too as well.
Yeah,
That was held in National University of Singapore.
Amazing.
And they are presenting their discussing about the problem, and in fact they are reporting their problem.
That's amazing.
Wow, that's
and
just
it's so
cool.
good to see them, you know, like, and, you know, you would always think that maybe there'd be some form of, they'd be on some backstab, but they're absolutely looking perfect and
But
very
I think
confident.
the best part over here, Maha, is the partnership in between the universities too as well. Because
Absolutely.
earlier you were mentioning that LUMS actually provide you with their laboratories and
Yes.
expertise as
Wonderful.
well. Would you mind sharing those experiences?
Yes, you know, in the beginning we have very like you know, the every program have a teething problem. So in the beginning we have he wrote more than 7,000 letter to the different
Wow.
school because we want to get you know, a hand on the different schools, but unfortunately no one replied.
Oh, no.
No one the principal, they are not willing to give us the time to you know, but you know,
Surely if you-
then some self-motivated student, they approach to IYPT that they are willing to participate in this competition, and the IYPT person, they said that I am the Dr. Farida, she is a focal person for Pakistan. So you can approach, you can talk to them. So in this way, I collect the 5 students from the different,
Okay.
from Karachi, from Lahore, from Islamabad. So these are from the different country. Then we bring one, because the formula, you know, the way this competition evolved is a very different. So we
have visuals
get
as
a
well.
trainer from Russia.
Wow.
A young trainer from Russia.
Privyet.
They train. Yes, they
All right,
train.
and we
this-
even
Okay.
have we even have your visuals too as well.
We
where
have a
you
video
guys are
clip.
performing or within the tournament as
Yeah,
well.
so
I
let's
think
take a look at the video clip.
Let's do it.
And then
And concepts, they help a lot in this respect.
obviously since you have concepts too.
Third, now the part third.
ये क्या दिखा दिया?
it's the international dude. Just
He's a person. He's a.
okay.
Singapore is the best.
All right. So what's happening over here is that, you know, these, ladies and gentlemen, are the visuals from the entire tournament, which actually took place in Singapore. That's what you're
Yes,
saying, right?
beautiful.
Yes.
And so since it's an international tournament, so obviously they want to express through sharing their cultural
in
traits
Russia,
as well.
I think this is in Russia because I was juror in this one.
Okay, so
That
this
is
one's
in
in
Russia.
Russia, ladies and gentlemen. This is a recent
Look at
update.
that
It's
bird.
breaking news. The news just in. And it's very cold in Russia too, by the way.
It's just to give you guys an idea of what happens in the tournament and
Yes.
the competition.
So it's like smart kids actually settle down with their laptops and then they're given a problem and then both of them actually have to find a solution within 12 minutes.
Okay, but the thing is, what
12
I
minutes?
find
No?
That they prepare the problem ahead of time.
Okay.
All these 17 problem, they accept the challenge, and then the time formation in this, like the time is very very important constant in all these things.
So how do you think-
So they prepare within, for example, the reporter report for the 12 minute, and then within these the time, for example, 1 minute for opponent, the opponent will come, they ask a question, they explore the whole problem, and it's similar
Yeah.
the reviewer.
Yeah, so basically it's like when you have a thesis and you have to present your findings, correct?
Yeah.
Like you've done the research, you have people will question. So it's something like that, similar. But this is a great experience. The thing is, I just want to highlight to all of you is that it's very disheartening and it's very disappointing that despite the fact that so many letters of thousands of letters went out to the educational institutions which are supposed to look out for the students of Pakistan. You're supposed to look for these opportunities and you're supposed to provide them for your students. And it's very sad that the students had to look for it themselves.
But were these letters sent to private or public schools?
Both.
Both of them. So, you know, quite a lot of times you've had people from private schools as well, and, you know, they say that we are sending people to China and whatnot. I mean, I think this is something which you need to do. You know,
Uniting
they'll
them.
be taking your kids to Russia and to Singapore too. But
That is only the Pak Turk.
yeah, but there's only
response.
one thing which I wanted to ask, and that is, how do you think that in near future IYPT, International Young Physicists Tournament, is actually going to help Pakistan prosper?
Yeah,
or
so let's start
progress?
with Mr. Tahir.
International Young Physicists Tournament will help Pakistan in bringing young minds, young scholars to light, and we are not short of any sort of talent. You know, we
Wonderful.
are full of talent.
Amazing.
Great.
And the students, the young scholars, they are motivated, they are ready to come, and the only thing they need is the direction. We need
Absolutely.
to direct them. And I just want to share one thing that since I am managing all this, and in August I received a call from one of the students, and she said that I'm interested in IYPT.
Wow.
Okay, and I love physics and I want to be a part of it.
Okay, wonderful.
One last thing very quickly. I want to
Shazad, we ran out of time.
I want to feel a bit nostalgic too as well, because I've actually forgotten Newton's laws as well. So can you share one of the Newton law too as well?
One
You know,
Newton
I just
law.
want to go back to my seventh
One
grade, I
Newton
think.
law.
Okay, every action has
This
equal
is-
and
this-
opposite
this one I
reaction.
know. Every action has a reaction, but
Opposite
in
and
opposite
equal
direction.
reaction.
Opposite and equal. And
Exactly.
the important thing is the action and reaction is not always on the same body. They are always on the opposite.
Opposite.
Yeah.
Okay,
it's
absolutely.
just like the way your mom hits you.
All
when you
right,
go
great.
there.
We've run out of time. Thank you so much for being here today, guys. We were sharing with you the IYPT, and now we have something else where the youth are making Pakistan proud. Do stay tuned. We're going for a short break.
Good morning. All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back for everybody who just got tuned into PTV World. You're watching World this morning alongside
Funny.
Maha Makhdoom and Shazad Khan. Earlier, we were in conversation with physics professor who actually brought IYPT to Pakistan, which is the International Young Physicists Tournament.
Yes.
And the young kids are actually making us proud because they came up with a solution for the honeycomb.
And to be honest, it's generally the young people that are making us proud within this country, because they're the ones that are breaking boundaries. They're the ones that are being really great ambassadors. They're the ones practicing tolerance and unity and faith and discipline.
But Ma, I think it all depends whether you get the opportunity or somebody's giving you that opportunity
Or you
not.
create it.
So recently, ISPR actually gave somebody a very amazing opportunity, and
that's
she
true.
made us all proud all across the globe, because from Pakistan, she was the first ever lady to ride a bicycle.
Yes.
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, sorry. So Shazad, I don't know how you wanted to do that. So
All
you
right.
introduced
All
me.
right, so she was the first ever lady to ride a bicycle
Sorry, guys.
at a height of 4,500 meter and then 895 meter and then 6,000 meters. She's none other than Miss Summer Khan. Hello, Summer. We're proud of you. How are you?
I'm good.
Thank you very
I'm
much for
great.
And
joining us.
congratulations on all of this. And the reason why I got confused was because last year she did the 4,500 meters.
Yeah.
This year she's gone to Kilimanjaro in Tanzania, and she cycled at 5,895 meters. And then she also did the third largest glacier in the world, which is the Biafo, which is the one that she
So,
did.
so is it like that you ride the bicycle up to 6,000 meters, or you go over there and then you ride a bicycle?
It depends on the track. Some parts I don't
Is there even a
cycle.
track? Because they're just mountains.
Okay, so let's start from the
Yeah.
beginning. How did you decide to start cycling glaciers and high peaks?
Because I haven't seen any girl or even a boy riding off-roads, and it's a very new field in sports in Pakistan especially. So I wanted to represent Pakistan in something really cool, which is adventure sports, and that too internationally. When I got the opportunity of going abroad, I chose Africa. It was the most commercial peak, Kilimanjaro. A lot of climbers come annually to summit it, but I wanted to be the first Pakistani to attempt something different on it, and that was cycling. So
And we've got some visuals and pictures too as well, ladies and gentlemen. Let's go. Let's take a look how this brave lady from Pakistan actually did it in Africa. Let's do it. Okay. I think we need to wait.
Yeah, we will show that video in a moment. But tell us, okay, so to get to Africa, I mean, we've had you on the show before. You've been cycling. You've pursued it, and you have, gone forward with it in one direction. So you did the peak within Pakistan. You did in Skardu as well,
Yeah.
correct? You did the 600 meters.
Yeah.
Now let's talk about that. So how did you do it? Like Shazad said, let's get back to the first question.
Yeah.
Did you decide to cycle up, or do you walk up with the bike, then you cycle
Because
across?
cycling down is
So
easy, I think.
what is the situation before we share our video clips with the viewers?
cycling down isn't easy. You need a lot of balance and
brakes.
Yeah. Because you fall many times. So the thing is, depends on the track. Kilimanjaro, I found, it was alpine desert, it was moorland, it was rocky and muddy track, it was a tropical forest. So variation in tracks was there, but obviously I had to drag my bike like this most of the time, and somewhere I had to lift it on my shoulders to take it up there. But then I rode downhill all the way to Mushi Gate, which is the entrance point to Kilimanjaro National Park.
And
Okay.
I think what we're going to do is that since our pictures are ready, so you're going
Yes.
to tell us what exactly happened at that particular point of time when the picture was taken.
Okay.
Let's go. All right. So,
So
what's
that's
happening?
reaching the summit. Yeah.
This was the first point of summit.
Yeah.
There are 3 points: Gilman's Point, Stella Point, and then Uhuru Peak.
These pictures look so cool.
Yeah.
This is my team.
Wow.
Amazing.
I mean, for a peak of 5,800 meters, I think it should have been a bit snowy, no?
It was snowy. It
Really?
was, yeah.
Yeah,
See,
parts
yeah.
were snowy.
Over here. So you've been riding your bicycle from downhill to uphill. Oh my God! Or probably just walking with your bicycle. It's hard. And how did you train for that?
I started practice. I do it for every expedition. I started my training 3 to 4 months before. because you need a lot of stamina and strength, and you cannot afford to get sick over there. So medicine don't work too because it's quite tough. So all you depends on your stamina and strength, and depends on the diet, depends on how much water you take. Because to avoid height sickness, the only solution or remedy is excess water.
Okay, but now the thing is, when you get to when you're doing, at these heights and in these different, areas. I mean, what about your lungs and your lung capacity and altitude sickness and all of these things? How do you acclimatize? How long do you have to settle down and all these things?
I once learned it from the people of Hunza. It's a desi remedy anyway. So the thing is, when you go up towards, when you ascend towards the specific height, or especially if it's around 6,000 meters or more than 6,000, you take dry apricots. You keep it in your mouth. You don't chew it. You just keep it in your mouth, and you keep sucking it, the juice. So it keeps your lungs hydrated, and it makes you
That's a
cope up
good
with the
idea.
environment.
That's amazing. Now I know.
Wow,
I'm slightly allergic to
that's
apricots.
quite an amazing idea. And obviously, necessity is the mother of invention.
And also, I think I will be taking that at like 2,000 meters rather than 6,000.
No, but what I wanted to ask was, why did you choose Africa? Because over here in Pakistan, we've got the second highest peak
Yeah, we've
too
got
as
such
well.
high
There's so
glaciers.
many different other peaks. We've got two 8,000er peaks too as well. So why Africa?
I'm going to scale the 7,000 meters peak this year, inshallah.
Wow.
But the thing is, I wanted to go abroad and wanted to, make the impact bigger. When I reached there were groups from Germany, there were groups from Sweden, Korea, China, and I was the only Pakistani. So to bring the honor from some other country, it's something really new, and
That's true. I
So
get it.
how do you think ISPR actually gave you this opportunity, and how
How
was
did you get
ISPR
involved with them?
involved in it?
when I met them, they had my bio already as in a file, and they knew my activities and everything. So when they saw that when they saw my profile, they were quite confident on me that I'll be inshallah successful in the Kilimanjaro's event too. So they just you cannot sorry.
It's all
You
right.
cannot.
Yeah, just pick it up.
No,
I mean,
it's
we can
okay.
talk to them.
No, you need to finish
No,
the
she's on
answer.
TV, come on, man.
So you're talking about how you got picked by the ISPR.
Yeah, they just told me one thing, that wherever you go, represent Pakistan with pride and confidence, and bring the honor home.
Amazing. And do you want to name a few people who actually helped you within ISPR
Yeah,
as well?
specifically DG ISPR Sir Asif Ghafoor.
Amazing guy.
There was Brigadier Tahir. There was a lot of people actually who coordinated and supported me. And
How about okay, that's great and that's wonderful that you've got this, backing from the nation and from Pakistan. But regarding your own smaller circles, who supported you? Like, I know we've had this conversation before when you've been on the show before, but how did your parents and your extended family
within
feel
your
about
own
you
clan.
traveling outside of Pakistan?
actually, initially it was quite challenging to even share the idea of cycling with them.
Yeah.
But, being a Pashtun girl, it was very new for them to ride, my cycle on the road. But with the passage of time, as they saw me growing and managing quite properly, and so when they saw I'm receiving respect from my society and everyone, so they started accepting it, and now they support me fully because they know that I'm doing something positive for the people.
But
and
there might have been a time when, it might have been, or it looked like as if it's very challenging, or, nobody's going to accept this at home, so how am I going to
Yes.
go about it? So how did you convince them? We need to know the real story, the real masala.
How did
Yeah.
you convince them? Because a lot of girls will be watching, a lot of guys will be watching whose parents may not be as flexible or open to different ideas.
Actually, you have to prove yourself initially. It's really important. It's like starting or learning a bicycle. You fall many times initially, but after some time, when you get your balance, then you
But I
never
think
stops.
this is a very interesting question to ask. Who taught you to ride a cycle?
It was very actually I was into sports when I was in I'm a child. In my childhood, I did skating, I did cycling, I did trekking very commonly, but I didn't know that it's specific sports at that
Yeah.
time. Because I belong from Dir, so there are quite common treks over there, and it's very easy to go on to the mountains. But now, after my university, when I came into sports and when I chose that as my passion and wanted to pursue my career in it, it was very challenging because in Asian countries and in Pakistan, it's not easy to make a career out of it. You cannot earn from sports.
I mean, majority of the people
Yeah.
think that it's not even a career. But my question is, who taught you to ride a
Who
cycle?
taught you to ride a bicycle?
It was my father.
Your father.
Yeah, when I was in
And
sixth
how many
grade,
times did
I
you
think.
fall? Oh, no, I don't want to do
Many
it.
days.
Shazad, who taught you how to ride a bike?
Well, I think I did it myself. I
Oh,
was
that's
always
sad.
a street smart kid. You know, that's how I started driving as well. You know, when my father used to sleep, I actually used to take away the car keys and just push it away from the garage and
My
then just
dad
start it
taught
and
me
just
how to ride a
bam,
bike.
and run away. And I've done this, by the way. That
Yeah.
you know, I actually banged the car into some post
Okay.
and I just ran away.
Okay, but how about, okay, so now going forward, you said that you plan to climb a 7,000er this year, in 2018. And what are the other plans? Just keep cycling, cycle all over the world?
I'll keep scaling the peak step by step, 7,000, 8,000, but the catch is with my bike.
Yeah, excellent.
So it's really hard, especially if you think about K2 or Mount Everest, to take your bike over there. It's really challenging. So
You'll do it then.
I'll start planning on it very soon.
But I think, you know, I'm just going to give a piece of advice, and that is that, you know, these days we do have these foldable bicycles, which are very easy to, you know, pick up and move with. So I think probably we can look into that. We can check on eBay.
I can take the bike over there, but if the peak is this small,
Yeah.
then
How are you going to
Yeah,
ride?
obviously.
Yeah, it
So
doesn't matter if
I
it's
think what you need
foldable
to do
or
is take a tricycle. Just be safe all the time.
But great. But best of luck with everything and with your future endeavors.
Amazing.
And you're making Pakistan proud. And we wish you the continuous success. And we will support you all along the way.
Thank you.
So after the 7,000 one, you're coming back on the show too.
Yes,
Thank you very much
absolutely.
for making
Thank
us
you.
proud.
Yeah. Okay. So I remember like one of my main memories of riding a bike was when I was, I think, 8 or 9, and we just moved to England. We'd only been there a few years. And my dad got this really high bike, and I just wanted to ride it because we just used to copy my dad and everything. And I remember I didn't know how to brake properly and ended up crashing into another cyclist. And then he injured himself. And then he came and he complained against the kids. And it was just like, oh my goodness. So it was really bad. So that's my memory of cycling.
Yeah, but it's perfectly all right. But these days, kids actually, you know, they ride those quad bicycles as well because they've got 2 smaller wheels and then 2 wheels.
Yeah.
But I think, ladies and gentlemen, whatever kind of extra recreational activities are always fruitful. And look that, you know, younger Pakistanis are making us proud by opting them as a career.
Exactly, and there are lots of opportunities if persistence is the key and hard work will lead to any success. So if you want any information about anything we've spoken about today, be it the physics tournament or the cycling or how to get in touch with anyone, log on to our Facebook fan
Which
page,
is with the name of World This Morning.
our Twitter page,
World This Morning without a G.
our Daily Motion and YouTube page.
World This Morning, World This
The
Morning.
repeat is that.
5 past 11 p.m.
Have a wonderful weekend, and we have a very special show for you on Monday, and we will see you bright and early on a very special day.
Till the next time, 1, 2, 3. Good
Good morning.
morning.
Twice a day. 3. Cinnamon. Cinnamon can lower blood sugar levels and improve insulin sensitivity. It contains bioactive components that help to prevent and fight diabetes. Mix 1 teaspoon of cinnamon in a cup of